roast her own tomatoes or whatever, but out of a can, like she made her own sauce, she made her own noodles, she made it basically the way that most people make it when it's not just out of a jar.
Yeah.
And then my son today made, and this was like a big step for him because he couldn't use the air fryer.
Okay.
Actually, he did for part of it. He made this macaroni salad, like a cold macaroni salad with eggs, and I don't like olives, but he put olives in it. And I was like, can you make me some without olives? Because he always asks me to make him stuff without cheese. And then burgers. So
love it. Heck yeah, dude. That's great. I mean, full meal made for you guys. That's fantastic. Did he make them without olives?
No, he made it with olives. So, because we were kind of giving him a hard time because my wife doesn't like olives either. She's like, "Oh yeah, can you do another one without olives? Because we don't like that." And he's always like, "Oh, I don't like that food. I don't like that food." And we're like, dude, "Yeah, this is what we're making."
It's the perfect payback, man.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. That's really cool. And did they come up with it themselves? Or was it like, or were you guys giving them direction, or was it like, hey, we're gonna sit back and let you guys cook for us?
They got a recipe, and I know Kayla was there for we did the macaroni salad today.
Nice.
But he other than I didn't want to pay $11 for garlic or garlic powder. I'm like, we have garlic salt at home. It'll work.
Yes, we do.
He bought everything. He air fried his eggs to hard boiled. He bought olives that were whole. Black olives, and then he was supposed to slice them because the recipe said it tastes better. I don't know. Yeah. I just don't like olives, so
no. I mean,
I picked them out.
It's an acquired taste for sure.
Yeah.
That's really cool, dude. That's the fact that they're taking that initiative and they made you guys dinner and it was fully edible and sounds like it was probably pretty good too. So that's cool.
It was really good. I did say the next time we do this, we'll make our own mayo because you need like 3 tablespoons, and we had to buy a whole jar, and we're not like a mayo family. So
yeah, totally.
We'll just make it next time.
Aren't you the one that I think you were talking about it? It was a while ago, huh?
On a steak?
No, it's a QP. You know what? You know what that is? It's the Asian mayo.
Okay. No, I don't think it was me.
That wasn't you. Anyways, I had a conversation about somebody with Asian. And so it's called QP and it's not spelled QP. It's just, that's the way it's pronounced. Don't get me started on how to pronounce things, but they sell it in the stores. It's in this crazy squeeze bottle, but it's basically a Japanese mayo. And all they're doing is putting rice wine vinegar in there. And this mayo I can eat on anything. Okay. Like I like mayo. I like mayo, and I think I have a bit of a pet peeve when people call mayo aioli, even though it kind of is, but whatever. I'm not going to go down that road, but I do like mayo, and to the point where like this mayo has like a sweetness to it, or not like the other stuff, Miracle Whip, not like that kind of sweetness, but it's just enough sweet and acidic to really like it works well with rice. Like I'll eat it with rice. I like do egg. A little bit of that, a little bit of like maybe like cracked pepper on some rice and stir it up, and there it is. But I'll send you a picture of the brand name. But you got to try it, dude. You eat it on a steak, right? Wasn't that?
I have like not marinated it, but like you cake the steak with that first, and then you can attach all your seasonings to that, and then fry it in the cast iron, and it works real well.
It does work really well, and that's. Traditionally speaking, that is how I've always done my turkeys. As I cake them with mayonnaise, I throw like 4 to 5 different dried herbs on it, and then I cook it that way. I mean, mayonnaise is just eggs and oil, just making things that much better. But this QP, you got to try it. I'll send you some, or I'll send you the picture. You can buy. I mean. Mind you, it will probably be like $14 a bottle. So maybe you won't try it. I don't know.
I'll try it. Worst case, I'll cover the steak in it and
there you go. It's I grew up with one of my stepdads. He would dip his Lay's potato chips in mayonnaise. And I remember being like, that is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my life. And I've since tried it. It's not that disgusting, but when I was a kid, I was like, this is gross. So, but mayonnaise is good.
I just never, if it's on food, I'll eat it, but it's one of those things that like I would never put it on food.
Okay.
And like if it's on a burger that I get somewhere, like I'm not going to not eat it. Same with ketchup. I'm much more of like a barbecue sauce person.
Right.
And then even sandwiches, we never put it on sandwiches. We just did oil and vinegar, which is borderline the same thing.
Yeah, right.
Half the ingredients. And then mustard. So we're a big mustard family. But I know my sisters ate it, so I don't know why I didn't. Whatever.
Well, we're a big. I mean, so Alana traditionally doesn't eat mayonnaise and loves. Try to say traditionally. Listen to me. But she loves mustard on everything, and so I've kind of grown to that. I'm also a really big fan, and when I first found out about this, and mind you, I don't know the truth of this, but I found out that I think it's In-N-Out Burger hits their burgers with mustard as they're on the grill. And so I've taken that. Sorry, my phone is recording every word I say right now. I take that little thing where it's the
government. Yeah. It's the government.
It's that time of year, right? So I started doing that, and I was like, okay, I kind of like this, but I wasn't really tasting the mustard. And now I do this little mixture where I take mustard, A1 sauce, and a bunch of like the Montreal seasoning. And I mix that up, and I baste the burgers with that as it's cooking on the grill. And it gives it this like kind of like this umami flavor that is just like almost extra grill smoky, salty flavor that I just, every time I've served it for anybody, people are like, what did you do to this? And I'm like, I didn't do nothing. Yeah. So give it a try if you guys, it's 2-to-1, 2 parts mustard, 1 part A1 sauce.
Okay.
And then you can put any seasoning in there you want, black pepper, the Montreal, and then just stir it up and then just hit your burgers with them as they're cooking. And it's really good.
That sounds great.
Yep. I know we're kind of out of burger season, aren't we?
But I just made it today.
This is true. This is true. So we got, now I know traditionally, if I say that word one more time, Cornell, I'm gonna start giving out money if I keep on saying it. I know that you have in the past, you guys have done some really cool family Halloween costumes because I've seen the pictures. Now I know your kids are older, but are you guys doing anything like that this year?
I don't even know which day Halloween is. So no.
So that's a no. Okay, cool. It's Thursday.
Okay.
And yeah, go ahead.
I know that my son is going to his first real high school party that he was invited to by someone not his sister.
Oh, awesome.
And it's a Halloween party. And then my daughter is going to a football game the same day. And then I think they might show up to the party after. I don't know.
Cool.
So I don't think we're doing anything like that for Halloween this year.
That's fantastic. Do you guys get trick-or-treaters at your house?
I don't. We've been here 6 years. If it was outside of people that I'm related to, no.
Okay. Solid. I mean, I don't really either. I think last year we got like 7, but I always buy the giant 10-pound bag of all chocolate at Costco. So
now we have my neighborhood is all half-acre lots, and there's like 15 or 20 on my street. So it's like, and there's one street light for it's about a half-mile long street. So nobody comes to our house.
Okay. That makes sense. You know, I don't ever anticipate people coming here, but it used to be a fun holiday, and it's kind of a weird transition holiday for us now because Maddie has made the decision to no longer trick or treat. So now it's just Jack. And I know, and I'm like, you know what? We're trying to convince her, like, hey, why don't you go for like a couple blocks just to hang out with your brother and do all that stuff?
She needs to be a chaperone.
Yeah. And she goes, but Dad, I can't. She goes, I can't even eat the candy. And I was like, I can. So what? I can eat it.
Well, maybe you're at that age that I had to be a little while ago, where it's like, I'll just buy your candy.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I just start throwing money at stuff, and then they all of a
Oh.
sudden are willing to do it still.
Next thing you know, here we go. Oh boy, my kids would take advantage of me real quick. So I didn't do much cooking this weekend. I gotta say, I was. It was just one of those weekends. It was rainy. It was like kind of cold. I had a great training session with Damon yesterday, and I got done with it, and I was just like, I'm hungry now. So I bought food on the way home, and then I also. Do you ever use DoorDash?
Nope.
Yeah, I remembered why I don't ever use it either, but I used it. I ordered a okay, I'm gonna really call myself out here. I ordered a pizza from DoorDash. This is the ultimate lazy because I not only have a pizza oven here, I work at a pizza restaurant where I get it for free. So ultimate lazy. But I ordered one pizza. It was a large pizza at this place called Ranch Pizza here in town, and they do the traditional there's that fucking word again. They do the square. They do the square Detroit style pizza, and it is really good. And they make their ranch dressing from their dipping sauce from scratch and all that. Really, really well done.
Nice.
So I was like, I'm going to order this. Click, click, click. Generally, this first shows up as like $30 for an extra large or whatever. I was like, okay, that's fine. By the time I got done and I hit submit, it was at $50, dude.
Oh gosh.
And it was Maddie had her homecoming dance yesterday, and it was just like, I didn't want to deal with all that. So yeah. I was one of those guys this weekend.
That's cool.
Yeah, I think it's okay. It's absolutely okay.
Yeah. How'd you like to have fun at the dance?
Yeah. Unfortunately for her, Dad got to pick her up. And so I show up and, I'm not like embarrassing her, but she's with her group of friends and I show up and I got like stupid loud music, windows down, Maddie. She comes running over and, but no, it was cool. She had a great time. First time, big dance. She definitely was like, Dad, I slow danced with a boy. Wrong person to tell. Okay, moving on. But
which one?
Yeah. Yeah, she had a good time. It was fun. It was a lot of anxiety leading up to it for her. But hey, first homecoming dance. I guess that's supposed to be a big thing. I don't think I ever really. I didn't go to homecoming dances or anything when I was in school. And you were homeschooled, so you didn't do any of that.
I went to every dance I freaking could.
Oh, really?
That was the only way I could get out of the house.
Well, that's awesome, dude.
I pretty much went to every dance available like sophomore year.
Awesome. That's awesome. That's really cool. The only reason I didn't go to the homecoming ones is because I was playing sports and like we would play the game that Friday before and I was wrecked the next day. And like, I don't know. We ended up like our friend group, like we would end up playing video games and ordering pizza and, waiting until the dance got over and then going out with everybody.
Yeah.
Going having the bonfire party. But enough about high school days. Cornell, I don't know if you've noticed this, but I've definitely noticed that there's a lot of talk in the community of weightlifting right now about strength versus technique. Now, I don't want to get into that because I think we know we've talked about it. We know what that's all about. But what I kind of want to talk about is moving into the strength side of things is like developing and maintaining strength. And when that popped in my head, something came up in my mind that I wanted to ask you a question about. And it's the idea of, and we've talked about this, it's the idea of squatting. So we know that squatting is a foundational thing in the world of weightlifting. It's probably foundational in most fitness. It is a core lift. It does help you develop and maintain strength. But I think I'm going to say, I don't know if you feel this way, but I think there's a point in time when there's not such a big emphasis on squatting. So what's your thought about squatting? Like, is there a good time? Is there a specific time to do it? Is there a specific time that you can pull back and it's still okay?
That's a that has a lot of different answers it could go with.
Yeah, I know.
I'll just touch real quick on the strength versus technique.
Okay, cool.
I would rather have someone who has better technique in the beginning than who is stronger.
Yeah,
you can kind of tell how strong someone potentially can get. Like the first time they go squat, are they squatting? It's generally going to be in pounds because it's CrossFit. Are they able to hit 225 for a single, like without ever squatting before? Or are they realistically struggling with 100 pounds?
Right.
So I'm not saying I would want someone who goes out and squats 400 pounds the first day, but I think that it's more important to learn the technique first, then build the strength to catch up. So you learn how to move properly first, and then you start building strength till you start breaking down again. Then you emphasize more on the technique, and you're not going to lose all that strength because it's not going to be that long. It's just going to kind of be like waves where you build the strength, then you continue lifting until your stuff starts breaking down. So you switch over to, so you do the technique until it breaks down. Then you switch back over to strength. It kind of just emphasize different parts on, and it's not like you're not doing any of the main lifts while you're doing the strength, but let's say you're lifting 5 days a week. You'd have like 3 days of strength and 2 days of technique. And then once the strength gets up there quite a bit, then you could switch it. So.
Yeah. I like that. I think, I really like what you said about the technique before strength, because I think that once somebody has a good amount of strength, it's hard to break them of that bad technique. They have less mobility. Like I had a buddy that, let's just say he had prison strength and he's a big dude. And when I was coaching CrossFit, he would come into classes, and I'm telling you, we would be doing pull-ups, and he insisted on, nope, I'm only doing strict pull-ups, right? Okay, cool. I like that. And then when he cleans the bar, it's a no contact reverse curl.
Yep.
and I remember being like, all right, Ben, we got to get your mobility in your shoulders better. And he's like, yeah, that just ain't going to happen. I'm like, okay. And so I did keep working with him on it a little bit. And then he was just like, nah, dude, I'm good where I'm at. I'm not going to be doing a lot of this. I'm more powerlifting style type of guy. But,
sure.
But the one thing I did learn there is that, like, when those big muscles are there, when you have that built strength already, like, that technique is so much harder to teach.
Yeah, when they can just muscle through something instead of having to actually get timing right. That's why I think that I would rather have someone who upper end of the beginner strength, but I wouldn't, like I said, I wouldn't want someone who's squatting 3 plates more. If I could choose, I'd get someone in that 200 to 225 pound squat and then be like, I can probably really work with this. And I'm saying that in like the 185 to 200 pound body weight. Like if they're like, just so people kind of have an idea of, I'm not expecting them to squat 225, but they weigh 315 already. So
yeah. Well, the squatting thing to me, I think when I was first starting, let's say first couple of years, I was not a good squatter. And it's not because I didn't like to do it. It's just I didn't really have the basic knowledge and understanding of like what it was doing, you know. And I kind of had some, regardless of I think what anybody thinks, there's bad technique in squatting, like there is. And I don't think I had the best technique. And I remember I said to somebody, they're like, there was a day before the meet, and they were like, hey, did you do your squats today? And I was like, no, I didn't. I'm old. I got bad knees. I didn't squat. And I got in trouble because of that. That's from an old coach. I just don't think, I think there's a point in life when you can maintain by squatting, but you don't have to push it as hard as maybe if you were in your 20s and you're just starting.
Yeah, I think that something that people don't think about too much is strength takes a long time to build, but it also takes a long time to go away.
Yes.
And there's some people that I've basically never gotten pinned under a clean.
Oh.
And I'm saying basically because like a month and a half, 2 months ago, I got pinned by a power clean. It was the second rep, and I was just like, I couldn't stand it up. I was just stuck. But basically, in like 10, 11 years, I've never gotten pinned by a clean. I've always been able to get it up. It didn't mean I could make the jerk. And I felt that the way that, so I was never a real big fan of squats. I think it was because I came in, I think the first month and a half, 2 months, I was squatting like 315 in CrossFit, and I did CrossFit for like 6 months. So right about the time that I fully stopped that, because we started the weightlifting class and like 3 or 4 months later, we were given like 5-day week stuff. I think I had squatted 405 right then.
Nice.
But I've never been someone who got like pinned under a squat or under a clean. So I felt that my squat numbers were always good enough if I didn't get pinned. Yeah. And I see so many people that there has to be that time where you learn the technique first and then you move on. Every lift's going to be different. No lift is going to be perfect.
Correct.
And I'm seeing so many people now recently who are getting pinned under snatches. And I'm like, whoa there. There's no reason you should be pinned under a snatch.
Yeah. Very true.
I think I've probably seen 4 or 5 people in the last 6 months. And we're talking different people. It's not like I saw the same person get pinned. But that's some of the stuff where it's like, okay, now you need to start pushing the other side. But once you kind of get to that level where I've squatted 250.5 kilos. It took so much out of me, and it took so much to get to that point that like all the other stuff in my lifting went downhill.
Okay.
And once I hit that, I'm like, I told myself I didn't need to squat any more than 500 pounds once I hit 500, but this one just kind of happened without me realistically knowing what was going on. And so I feel like, sorry, I'm on a rabbit trail now.
We're all there. I'm with you. Don't worry, I got it.
Well, it had something to do with it. So, well, I just think that you can judge kind of how much you can lift based on, or how much you need to squat based on how much you're lifting. Yeah. So I do know people who they literally PR'd their front squat because they cleaned it, and they were cleaning more than they were front squatting, but their technique was really good, but their strength was really down.
Yeah.
And I don't think that that's how it should be. But I back squatted 405, and probably a month later I front squatted 375. And I basically didn't front squat, or I was cleaning around 140, roughly 35, 40 at the time, with like a 175 when I started. And then I was still cleaning, I probably hit 155 before I hit a 400-pound back or front squat.
Okay.
So I think there was a decent ratio there. I know it was pounds and kilos, but
well, something that when you were talking, something popped in my head, and I think my general rule of thumb is if I'm front squatting, whatever my top set is has to be at least 20 kilos over my PR clean. And that's kind of my standard that I've set for myself. And I think it's been pretty good. And then when I'm back squatting, I don't have the same thing to be, because it's far beyond my snatch. And I've always looked at back squats as for snatches and front squats are for cleans. And that's kind of the way I've always seen it. But as long as I'm hitting 400 pounds plus on my back squat, I feel good about that. I just I think, and here's the old man talk. I think at my age, I don't need to squat that much. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I said something. It was probably about a month ago to Damon. I was like, man, I think my PR back squat's like 197. Man, I just need to hit that 200 kilos. And Damon goes, why? And I look at him and I was like, that's a good point. Because like it doesn't matter, right? Like I guess unless I'm trying to be something I'm not in the world of weightlifting, then maybe I want to push that. But I'm not content where I'm at, but I'm still driving, I'm still having fun, I'm still lifting. I just don't see the need to wreck myself like that. Especially like I think there's a big overuse thing with me where I tend to overuse my muscles and I get hurt. And that's just all there's to it. I'm dealing with an injury right now and luckily it's getting better and I'm being smart about it. But I haven't back squatted anything over 160 in probably 2 months, 3 months. And it's still there. Yesterday, you saw on the video, that was the first time I had done a jerk in 4 weeks.
Okay.
And it's still there.
Yeah.
So like this idea that like what you said was, and I want to drive home what you said, that the strength takes longer to build up than it does to lose. And if you just keep working at it, like you're going to be strong. And you're going to, it's like taking a week off you're not going to lose all that. You may have to work back up to it, but it's still there.
And it's also like when I squatted the 250, it was like, okay, I'm never going to do this again. And then people have asked me like, oh, what's your back squat? I'm like, well, I've back squatted 250, but I'm not a 250 back squatter. And like, what do you mean? I'm like, I'm never trying to hit that again. And I'm not going to put that effort into it. And
yeah. At the point,
I'm not such a good lifter where I'm super efficient that I am even, my numbers aren't anywhere near those numbers. Like I have so much excess strength. So
yeah.
I would probably say if you feel that you have the excess strength, focus more on the technique and less on the strength.
Yeah. I mean, snatch technique will be something that I am always working on. And I know that, and I'm okay with that. And we've talked about it, how, my clean and jerks are just, I muscle through those and generally my technique's pretty okay. And it gets me through and I'm doing stuff and I'm still moving up in weight. And that's what I tell myself. And it's good to have that kind of like self-talk with yourself. Like, hey, let's keep it in perspective. Like it is important to have technique. It is also important to have strength. Why do we need to separate them and say what's more important? Let's just combine them and make it both a thing because that's what this sport is about, right?
Yeah, and also depending on which part of your weightlifting journey, career, whatever stupid words you want to use. Where are you? Are you at the beginning where you're trying to maintain, or you're trying to build and build and build and be the best, or are you been in it for a long time and you're like, you know what, if I don't hit another PR, it's okay. I just want the PR is much more going to be like, can I be doing this in 10 years?
Yeah. And to me, that's what's important is like, if I can be doing this in 10 years. And I remember 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks or whatever it was, when I was doing the WSO and there was a 70-year-old man on the platform. Dude looked like Santa Claus, by the way. And I said that on the air. I don't know if he heard it or not, but anyways, he snatched 80 kilos and he clean and jerked. It was either 97 or 102, somewhere around there.
Wow.
But at 70 years old, man. Like,
well, for some reason I was picturing like a really skinny, like old man. But
no,
he looked like Santa Claus. Somebody's probably built like Santa Claus too.
Yeah. He was probably like 6'4". I think he was lifting in the super session, but still, like 70. Man, I was just like,
amazing.
It's really cool. I went up and shook his hand afterwards. I was like, that was really awesome to watch. And he wasn't as excited as I was, but you know, it was kind of cool, and I really enjoyed it. But that is really, I think that's my goal at this point, is just to have longevity in the sport, because breaking records, and I know I'll keep PRing. I know that I will. I've seen it in the past 6 months where I've just been on the edge of it. And so I think at our age, it's really I think the main thing is longevity if we want to keep doing the sport.
Yeah, it takes so much less to maintain the strength.
Yeah.
I don't know details and stuff, but
Yeah.
I think that if you've been lifting for 5 or 6 years and you're consistent with it, like 3 to 4 days a week, and then let's say that you get to a point where you're like, you know what, I don't want to squat anymore.
Yeah.
You're probably going to be maintaining, if you're still hitting those 3-ish days a week of just training, you're not going to build it, but you're not going to lose it, or at least you're going to slow down how fast you'll lose it. Like if you completely stopped, you might lose 50% in the year. I'm just pulling numbers out of my butt.
Right.
And then if you stop squatting but kept being consistent lifting, it could take 10 plus years to lose that strength.
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever stop squatting. I think I'll just be more specific about it and when I do it. 2 times a week. Right now I'm at 3 times a week, but it's light and it's for reps, and that's just mainly because of my hip injury that's going on. But I think, like I said in the very beginning, I think squatting is a foundational part of what we do. And I don't ever want to lose the ability to squat. I feel that as much as we could push the squat and wreck our bodies and do all that stuff, I love the way I feel after I squat.
Okay.
I like it. I mean,
I was going to quote Damon and say why, but
yeah, why? Yeah. And Damon's known and really, really known for those one word statements. Why?
Yep.
Yeah, good point. You don't have to say anything else. But I like the buzz I get, like that. I have, my legs are kind of pumped, and I have that pump going, and it feels good. I walk into the house, eat some dinner. I'm like, yeah, I squatted. I'm sore. I'm starting doing that stupid shit. And then my wife's like, shut up. I don't want to hear it. But I personally like the way it feels. I remember when I was doing I tried 3 times doing the squat every day thing with you. It was such a hard thing to do. And I'm not bowing out of it. I didn't bow out of it because it was hard. Well, maybe I did, but it was more about oh God, I got to get out there on a Sunday cold and squat, but you showed that it can be done. You did it for a long time. And I think your lifting really resembles that kind of commitment and dedication and consistency.
So that is when I hit the PR was 45 days into that.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense.
But for what everybody, I don't know if they haven't heard, but I squatted 400 pounds for 250 days in a row. That was and I've done it, I think 100 days in a row, 2 more times since then.
Wow.
But I didn't touch anything over 400 pounds. And I went from a 230 to 250.
Wow.
In realistically 45 days of squatting, 1 rep every day.
Yeah.
I mean, you could warm up, but you didn't have to if you didn't need to. And
if you just go hit it. Yeah.
It was 80% of my best squat.
So were you got to the point where you could just walk out, hit 400, be done?
Oh yeah.
No, couple reps in between, nothing like that. No,
no belt, maybe an air squat.
That's pretty cool.
Where you just squat down, kind of bounce around at the bottom, stand up, then just walk over. You don't even unload it at that point.
Jesus.
So
I like that. That's pretty neat. I remember watching you go through that and being like, I want to try it. But yeah, we saw how that went. Um, but I think this conversation about squatting is good for people to hear because just like anything else, there's so much, talk about what's right and what's wrong in the sport. Ultimately, do it for what meets your goals and what you want to get out of the sport. Because you're gonna have five people tell you what's wrong, and you're gonna have five people tell you it's right. But it really only matters to yourself. That's it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Unless you're going to the Olympics and do what your coach does.
Yeah. If you're going to the Olympics and you're listening to what we have to say, I'm sorry. No.
We wish to be spectators too, like you.
Yes, exactly. Oh man. Let's see. What else do we got? What else do we got here? As far as maintaining strength and all that stuff, I think that was a good conversation. Coming into this holiday season, I'm kind of just numb to it right now. I'm not really into it quite yet. My family's definitely into it. But I want to I need like a weekend of just cooking. That's all. I think that'll get me back into the spirit of things.
Yeah.
I don't know. What about you? You got any plans coming up? Any big stuff coming up?
I'm going to go to AO finals. I'm not competing, but
coaching.
Yep. I don't want to complain about the worst website in the world, but if you've ever been on the USAW website, it's the worst.
It's the worst. I agree.
I'll just do a quick rant about the suckinesses of being a USAW member, being a USAW coach, and being a USAW masters lifter. There's a lot of freaking stuff to keep up on every year.
Yes.
On top of just I think it's 3 different memberships. There's I don't think the masters one is that much more, but it's like a little bit extra. Yep. And there's the regular one for the year. And then there's the coaching one. And there are so many stupid certifications. So it kept telling me that I couldn't register as a coach because I hadn't finished the USADA stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just did it. And then I emailed the guy 3 days later. He's like, yeah, sometimes it takes a week or two to do it.
That happen.
So I emailed him again. I'm like, hey, it's been 3.5 weeks and I really want to sign up as a coach because it's free right now.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't until yesterday.
Yeah.
And then he said, oh, well, just give it another day or two. And then I emailed him back. I'm like, it's still not here. And that day's coming. And so then I think Tuesday last week.
Yeah.
He goes, oh, I forgot you missed this. My bad. And it was, I did the USADA Masters. I did the USADA, just the USADA one that we have to take, but I didn't do the coaching USADA refresher 5-question thing. And then you would think that if you're missing this, they would just be like, oh, click here for this link.
Yeah.
And send you the link. No, they just said, oh, you forgot to do this one. My bad. And I had to spend 10 minutes finding it. And I didn't even have to watch a video or anything. I just took the test and in 30 seconds it was done. Yeah.
It's interesting why they wouldn't just split it up between coach and athlete and then just keep it that way. Why that word's not like a masters and everyone else and then a coach. That seems a little tedious. I've had problems like that with that website as well, where it was like a delayed response. And it was 2 days of a delayed response, but nothing like what you just talked about. Well, where's it at? Where's the AO2?
Tucson, Arizona.
Oh, nice.
So it's 350 miles or something for me.
That's not bad at all. Is that that's a driver?
Yeah.
Solid. Who are you coaching? Or is it Tyler?
No, Nick.
Oh yeah.
Nick is the main one I'm going to. He listens.
I love it. I know he listens. He always gives the love.
And then I think we have 4 or 5 others from the gym.
Nice.
Either people who lift at our gym or lift for our gym.
Yeah, that's cool.
That should be fun. Are SoCal remote, but lift at our gym, or they made it too. So
yeah. Awesome. Well, I just found out that Ironside is having a meet in late January, a little local meet here that I am contemplating signing up for. I have not made a decision on that yet. and it would be just a train through, if anything. But I don't know. I would like to lift there and just check it out. So
Yeah.
Anyways, it's 40 minutes. I think I'm out of words. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I'm ready for bed.
Yeah, me too. So, everybody, thanks for listening. And have a good night. And we will talk to you all later. Adios.
Bye.